Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sivadas Madhavan, Associate Professor of English, Wolaita Sodo University, Ethiopia. Today I'm going to talk about the fourth chapter of research, that is the analysis of data. Analysis of data will be approximately 40% of your research paper. It can be 35 also, there is no hard and fast rule. Approximately 40% of your research will be taken by analysis of data. And when you make the analysis, that is the evaluation of your data, you evaluate the data, and it must be in line with the objectives of your study, the research question or the hypothesis, or all the techniques that you have mentioned in the first chapter, second chapter, and third chapter. So it must be in line with the proposed theory or the proposed idea, the proposed concept, etc. Then only it will be scientific. And based on the research design, you can decide what type of research you are doing. So based on the design means the blueprint, the plan of the research. And there are three different types. It can be qualitative research or quantitative research, or it can be the mixed method. So if it is qualitative research, it will be case study, or it can be ethnographic study, or grounded theory, or phenomenology. So these different types of researches can be the qualitative research. If it is quantitative research, that is numerical. That means you are dealing with the numbers, calculations, etc. So quantitative research can be experimental research, or non-experimental research, or quasi-experimental research. And for that, you have to calculate. You have to use statistical calculations or mathematical calculations. And it will be unbiased, completely objective. That is, no personal bias will be there in quantitative research. And the third type is the mixed methods. Mixed methods means both the quantitative research and qualitative research will be there. That means the elements of quantitative and qualitative research will be there. That means you will deal with the ideas, opinions, views, etc. like qualitative research, and you will have the numerical calculations like quantitative research. That means it will be a mixture of both qualitative elements and quantitative elements. And it will be mixed methods, will be convergent research, or explanatory research, or exploratory research, or transformative research, or it can be multi-phase. So there are different types of mixed research which students select or the researchers select. And based on this type of research that a person does, he will analyze. His analysis will also be different. For example, in the qualitative research, the thematic analysis, that means from the sources, from the data sources, he collects the data and makes the coding and analyze the results and come to a theme. And that type of thematic analysis is possible in the case of qualitative research. And it can be content analysis. That is, you can analyze the content. The same way, from the data, you will derive the content like deriving the theme, and you will analyze it. Or it can be grounded analysis. Grounded analysis means forming the theory. From the data you collected, you conduct the experiments, and you come to a theory. You will conduct the test again and again, and you will come to a theory. So, theoretical view, you come from the data to the theory. And that is grounded analysis, or it can be discourse analysis. Discourse analysis is giving importance to the linguistic elements like word, sound, or grammar, culture, etc. So that is discourse analysis. Or it can be narrative analysis. Narrative analysis is telling the story, storytelling. So the researcher tries to adopt the techniques of narrating, telling the story, and that is narrative analysis. Or phenomenological analysis. Phenomenological analysis means you are looking into the views of the participants' views or the participants' experience. That is phenomenological. So there are different types of analysis in the case of qualitative research. And when it comes to the quantitative research, the same as qualitative research, you are analyzing the data, but it is related to your research question, the hypothesis, your theoretical ideas, and you will mention the tests, because quantitative research is numerical and there are calculations. So you have to mention the tests, the statistical tests or significance tests. So all these tests must be shown in the analytical part. You have to mention what techniques did you use to analyze these numerical data. And when it comes to the mixed method, you will have both the inductive method and deductive method. Inductive method is the qualitative element, and deductive method is the quantitative element, and it will be mixed up together in mixed method. And for that also you are using both the software for numerical calculation and software for non-numerical calculation. For example, SPSS is used for numerical calculation. At the same time, NVivo, the programs like, there are so many others also, will be used for qualitative analysis also. So you have to mention that. That means in the quantitative research, you will have numerical explanations, numerical calculations, and for that you are using descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Descriptive statistics summarizes the data. It will summarize, it will describe, it will explain. But inferential statistics is dealing with large population with the help of a sample taken from the population. That means the samples will be selected, the appropriate samples, the representative samples of the population will be taken and it will be calculated or summarized. So inferential statistics takes only the sample and studies the sample, and it is supposed to be representative. So this you have to calculate. That means the different types of explanations or analysis. And when you do this, you have to take 3 important steps. And the first one is your interpretation. And your interpretation must be to see if you agree with the expected results or your hypothesis. So check whether you agree with the interpretation and the expected result or the hypothesis. If your result is against the hypothesis, you deny that, you don't accept it. If it is in favor of your hypothesis, and you accept that concept. So that is interpretation, number 1. First one is interpretation. Your interpretation must be checked thoroughly and try to see whether it agrees with your expected views of the results and the hypothesis. And next, number 2, you have to check your findings, the results that tally with the existing knowledge, because you know your research is to produce some new knowledge. That is, your results or your findings must be an addition to the existing body of knowledge. So check whether your findings tally with the existing knowledge and see the relationship between theory and practice. Whether your theory and practice go hand in hand or whether it goes against each other. That you have to see. That is the second step. That means check the findings or check the results. And number 3 is the last one, is the limitations. Whatever type of research you consider, there will be limitations. And these limitations may be due to research design, research method, or even unexpected obstacles may come. That means unexpected obstacles may come in the way of the research. That is the the constraints, or they are the troubles, the bottlenecks, etc. So they come as the limitation. What is the importance of limitation? Because these limitations will help you to make suggestions to the future researchers or other researchers to find out whether it is true or not. They can, from the limitations of the researcher, the other researchers can start their work. That means they can proceed with that, or they can do research on the related topics, etc. So it will help you to have your recommendations. That means what you recommend at the end, that will be based on the limitations that you have faced, or for the practical implementation of the plan or the result. To implement practically, you have to consider the limitations. So these are the important points I want to tell you about the analysis of data. That is the 4th chapter of the research. And with other topics, I will come up later on. Until then, thank you. Bye.